I have been really obsessed with for the last, for the last year. And I'm glad now that I'm even able to talk about like two different aspects, not just the coding aspect of it, but now the design. And which brings me to the topic of today. I'll try and share my screen. I hope it's visible. Um, just give a thumbs up if you can see my screen. But I can see it myself, so I'm gonna assume everyone is seeing it. A little bit about myself. My name is Loïc, and I am a software engineer. And but most of the time, I work on the front end. Yes, so which means most of my time involves collaborating with designers. So that means that is my whole experience with Figma. So I get handed over a design and then I'm expected to implement it. And today I'm going to talk about a different workflow. So now a designer is not handing me a design, but I'm actually, in a sense, I'm handing them the design. Um, and this workflow came these days because now with the LLMs and everything, a lot of people are vibe coding. Software engineers, designers, anyone can actually vibe code anything. All you need to know is just to be able to type, pretty much, and you can vibe anything. And then, so I think Figma in this direction introduced a way now, okay, people are gonna vibe code a lot of things, a lot of products, a lot of apps, but a good design is still important because at the end of the day, when you're building something, you hand it to a normal user. And most developers, most vibe coders, let's say, don't have the design skills. And I think the designer is the one who can actually, okay, judge a good design and then make good design decisions. So speaking of, I myself, I vibe coded a dashboard, which I think is quite nice. But then I will need a second opinion from a designer like Frank. And to do that, usually, I don't know, someone would probably take a screenshot and then hand it over to the designer. Frank would have to then redesign everything from scratch. But with the current tools we have, namely the Figma MCP, um, I'm not sure if everyone here is knows what an MCP is, but a really small definition is just a way something a software like Figma can be used by an AI agent, right? So when I say AI agent, think of you've heard Claude Code, which we are going to use today, but there are other AI agents you can use. There is Codex by OpenAI, Copilot, Cursor, and so on. But today we are going to use Claude Code because that's what I have access to currently. But everything I'm doing today, you can do it with pretty much any AI agent that can connect to Figma MCP server. So MCP server is basically how Figma allows AI agents to use Figma tools like the frames, the objects, and everything so that they can design on the Figma canvas, right? I think you've probably heard about, okay, you have a design system in Figma, and then you can extract the context. So tokens, spacing from Figma, from an AI agent. That has been around almost a year now. But now you can actually use an AI agent to do the design itself. So that will be my introduction about Figma MCP. And another thing I'll talk about is skills, right? So you'll hear me mentioning skills. Okay, a skill is basically a prompt. Okay, it's basically a prompt. The only difference is probably just that the AI agent is trained to respect this skill file, right? Okay, it just contains, okay, how do you make a frame in Figma? So you do step one, step two, step three, so and so on. Okay, so if you're really curious enough, you can go on the Figma website and then you can go through the skills and you will see that they're just basically a long prompt that says, okay, that teaches how an AI agent should use Figma, right? So those are the terminologies I'll be using today. And now let's get to the fun part. So like I said, I vibe coded my dashboard. So this is basically a CRM of an artisanal shop, right? So I vibe coded this dashboard last night, and if you can, I will just put the repository if you're really curious enough to just go. It's not like profound code. It's just basically vibe code. It's AI slope, if you may. Um, so I prepared this that we'll be using this throughout the talk. I wanted this to be an interactive session, which means I'm going to live vibe code everything, right? So, like I said, you can use any AI agent, but I will be using Claude Code. And really brief introduction about Claude Code is basically an AI agent that you can use with inside your terminal. They have a desktop application, but I think in my opinion it's a little bit buggy and I really didn't want to take the risk to use that. So I'm going to use their terminal client, and you can open it, you can check their documentation on how to set it up, but basically you open it by just typing Claude as a command, and then all you have is the same chat client like you see in the browser. And I open Claude inside the code base, so within the directory where the project is. And this is the project pretty much. This is the code editor, if you may. And I think I want to now send this page to Frank in the Figma file he prepared for me, so the playground file. So I'll basically grab the same way you would share a Figma file. I'll copy the link. Um, a small note on this one. So I'm able to do this because um, I connected my MCP using my Figma account, right? So you log in, and then I'm able to share. Claude is able to basically do the changes pretending to be me. Like it's using my token, my session, basically my user account to do the changes, right? So I think if you look in the history of the changes, you think it's me who made the changes, but it's because I logged in within my account and I need to have right access on this Figma file. So I copy the link and then I will use those skills I said. And if I can maybe give you a quick show. So if you look at the tools that Figma has, it has a way to get a screenshot, to create a design system rules, to get variables, generate Figma design. It can generate a diagram. It can also do Code Connect, which is something else we probably not have the time to talk about. And these are different tools that it can do. So I will use a skill called Figma Generate Design. Um, and this is the skill to be able to create a design that is already implemented in my code base and send it to Figma. So I need to pass in the file of my page. So I think I'm gonna assume it's this one, but I have to be sure. It's pages, dashboard page. Okay. So let's see. Okay. As you know, LLMs or AI are not deterministic, meaning if you repeat the same thing more than once, you'll get different results. So I don't know what to expect. I just want to see, okay, what will be the output? So from this command, I expect to be able to have this page end up on Figma. So this will probably, as you know, will take some time. And by making this session interactive, I would like to ask anyone who has a question. You can write in the chat, and you can ask me anything as we wait for this to finish.
Yeah, thank you so much, Loïc. In the meantime, maybe a question from my end would be,
Yeah.
considering this is one page,
Yeah.
what would you say is the time frame for something like this? So if you were to guess,
I
sending
think you're about to
the
find.
design to canvas.
We're about to find out. I mean, I think we are now like crossing the 1 minute thing. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. I forgot to give it the link to the Figma page. And now it's asking me if it should use my Figma account to create a new file. Right? So that was my mistake, but I already have the the link, so I just give it the link to use. Okay. So as you can see, it's like basically there's a feedback loop. And then it will ask me if you keep seeing some this asking me yes or no. So basically, this is how Claude Code is. When it needs to do something like an action, sometimes it needs to ask me a permission. And if you're really, responsible, you should probably read and understand what it's trying to do, because I'm pretty sure you've heard about stories about people having their databases, their files deleted. So I think it's important. Maybe okay, files empty. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, to the people on the call, so the QA chat is open. Feel free to drop questions in the meantime. So, like, if you were to explain this to a person who's not familiar with code or not familiar with terminal, how would you explain this phase? Obviously, you're prompting Claude Code to implement
Oh, I
the design
actually
to canvas.
used the wrong tool to do this, because this one is asking me, this skill is so this is a different skill, which basically opens the application and then takes a screenshot and then design the application. But what we want to do, we want to instead have the tokens, our design system, and then our components, and then build the page itself. So I'm going to go ahead and kill that. And instead, okay, so back to your question. What I'm doing is prompting, pretty much. So I'm asking Claude to do something, and then Claude has access to my code base, and then I am trusting Claude Code to get enough information, it needs to be able to take the decision, right? So that is essentially what I'm doing.
All right,
So
cool. Maybe I'm guessing people would want to know why you're doing that in Terminal, or maybe not in another tool.
so like I explained, you can do this with pretty much any AI agent. So you
But
see,
through Terminal, does it have to be through Terminal? That's the
no,
detail I
it
want to get to.
doesn't. No, it doesn't have to be. But like I said, I have my reservations regarding Claude Code desktop because it's pretty buggy. Sometimes I've tried it a few times and it keeps on crashing or like it doesn't respond. And also, given that I'm a developer, I'm quite more familiar with the terminal. But I don't think it's a really difficult interface, right? As you can see, this is just a chat box, right? Um, and I think Frank, like, how long did it take you to get familiar with Claude Code? You'd say,
I mean, yeah. So at first, I didn't want to do these things in Terminal,
yeah,
but then I figured that's what had the best UX. Because even the web app usually has downtime issues.
okay.
Right.
So okay, so this is what but I'm wondering why it's asking me to this page. I think it's using a different page, but I guess okay. So you can see this is the output I get from Claude Code. So it completed the analysis of the code base, and then it found, okay, I already have a design system in the code base, and then it has colors, spacing, some shadows, styles, and typography, right? And then it's going to present me how it will actually do this. So it will do this. The first phase, it will create the foundations, right? So you create the primitives and then the spacing and the text styles. And then after that, it will create the components. And then it will also tell me, okay, I will not build this because it's not, for some reason. Okay, I'm not supporting dark mode anyways and responsive breakpoints. Okay, I will just go ahead and say yes. And then I'm going to just open Figma, but I'll just maybe have a look here because sometimes it will keep asking me questions if it should do this, if it's allowed to do this. And then as you can see, so the first step is to create the variable collections. I'm assuming, I'm not a designer, but I'm assuming this would be the first thing you do. And then it's going to create the variables. I'll just go ahead and open here. So you see, these are the collections that it created. So the colors, the primitives, the radius, and then it's going to populate the primitives with the actual values. And then you can see the primitives. And if you want to be sure 100%, you can cross check. For example, I know this value in my code base. I want to see what slate 50 corresponds to in my code base. So this is the hex. So this is where it's getting the values from. So from the code. And then okay, and then so after the variables, it's going to create the text styles and the effect styles. And if I understood correctly, some things you can create variables, some things you cannot create variables, and text styles are one of those things, and shadows. Maybe any designer in the room can don't call me on that, but that's what I heard. Um, so it's going to ask me. This is it's asking me if it can proceed to phase two to create all the pages for the cover, foundations, and each component. But this might take a while because I'm interested only in the dashboard page. So I'm just gonna say again, this is just prompting, right? So go ahead and create design build dashboard page using the tokens we just created. You can also build the components used only by this page. So the reason why I didn't want it to go in like the second phase, as you can see, we have how many components? We have all these components. So it might take a while. So I would just probably just build the dashboard page and the components that it needs. Again, it's asking me for permissions before it does anything. Yeah, but it had already created placeholders for these components. And you can see it has dashboard, table, card, badge. So I know you probably are asking yourself a question. It's like, why would I need to go through all this? I could just go ahead and design this in Figma, right? But like I said, I believe that as more people are just vibe coding stuff, me included, at some point I will need a designer maybe to like you know make my design better, like, or make some style, some stuff look, you know have personality, if I may say. Because I don't know if you've seen, most designs created by AI are mostly generic, right? um so again, you always need like a design, like a custom design. So as you can see, uh I'm not creating any of this. So basically the agent is just doing this, and sometimes it appears that someone else is looking at this page, but I don't know why it's not
Usually,
doing
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Usually
okay, you can see it.
that's like Claude Code,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so as you can see, these are like reusable components, right? And then this is like a table header row. And this actually looks better than when I tried last night, because I tried the same process last night and it was completely different. I don't know. Now the alignment is even, you know, like on point.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you always get a different result
Yeah.
per prompt. Or is it done yet?
No, it's still going. I think it's just going. So yeah.
So another question here is, how do you handle icon libraries with this process?
I tried it in one thing. So what I had to do, it was trying. Okay, it has two ways. Obviously, it can use the drawing tool. I can ask it actually to replace the icons like with custom SVGs. It can draw SVGs, right? But when you have like a icon library, it cannot add that, because sometimes. So I asked it actually how I can do it myself, like get Lucid icons from a Figma community and then add it to my library and then publish it, and so it could then use it. So it couldn't do it itself, but it can actually draw SVGs.
All right, but not
Okay.
within a library.
Yeah, so then you, because if you need an icon library, you would have to add the icon library and publish it within the file, because the agent only has access to the file you gave it access to, right? Yeah, so the dashboard is done. Okay, so this is what we have. And to actually, to your point, I can ask it, draw
Didn't it have a
SVG icon.
sidebar?
It didn't. I have to prompt it to do it, because I mean, I think it probably because the way the app is built, right? Because so the sidebar is a different component in itself.
Mm.
You see, so the page, so dashboard is different from the sidebar.
Yeah, so he hasn't created the sidebar yet.
Because I didn't ask it to.
All right, maybe we go ahead
Okay.
and do that, and then I want to see.
Okay. So for this, you can also do things in parallel, right? So I'm going to ask it to add the sidebar component in the background, and then I'm going to ask it to use another agent to draw our SVG icons. So I'm just the same way you think, like, so use two agents. One should draw SVG icons on, what are those cards called? I don't know. So I guess on the cards to replace the current icon placeholders. So use the second agent to implement the sidebar to so this is the thing about AI. I mean, it's a tip. So sometimes I would say, if I say to implement, it can probably think, it's like, okay, should I build this component in the code base or should I design it? So I think the more clarity you provide, the easier it gets. So I don't want to take any chances. So I'm just gonna go and say, use the second agent to design the sidebar component. Sidebar. So, and if I'm correct, it'll create two agents which will do the two things in parallel, but I might be wrong. But let's see.
Do you also maybe want to explain a bit more on the agent concept?
Sure. I mean, I didn't want this to be more technical talk, but basically, you can, with an AI agent, some AI agents support also sub agents, right? I don't know if that makes sense. So within the agent, you can also start another agent, right? Which is what I did. I know these two actions don't have anything in common, right? So on one hand, you're adding icons on a card, and then on the other hand, you're just designing a sidebar component, right? I can either do one and then do the second, but I know Claude Code allows me to spin up as many sub agents as I can. So I take advantage of that and then say, okay, one agent do this, another agent do this, simply. And then, like, this probably will save me some time. Okay, so as you can see, one agent should probably, if I'm okay, should probably be drawing SVGs or not. And the other one is doing the sidebar.
All right, go. So as we do that, so there's one question for you in the QA.
Which QA?
Do you have the
Okay.
QA?
Oh,
No. All right, good.
sorry. Okay. Maybe some. Okay. Yes. So the thing is, I try to. So the question is, if we can ask the agent to connect to Lucid icon library as well. At the same time, we are connecting the Figma file. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't have the Lucid icon font, right? I don't have it on my system. So Claude Code probably won't have that, doesn't have any permission to install a font on my system, right? Unless I'm running the agent in YOLO mode where it can do whatever it wants, and you shouldn't do that. But the other option was to get the Figma icon font library file from the Figma community, if I remember. Um, I'm gonna try and be clever at Figma, so please don't laugh at my Figma skills. So I guess it was, yeah, the community. Where is it? Yes. So basically, it asked me to go and take this file from Lucid, right? And then open it in Figma and then add it to my I think team or something, and then basically publish it so that it can use it as part of the components in my file. But I guess probably the other way would be if Lucid has icon fonts, I can install it on my system and then it can just simply swap it. Okay, so the S3G icons clearly not the best. But yeah. And the alignment is off,
Right.
but that's fine. So this is where I hand my work of art to Frank and then ask him like, okay, the cards need some redesign, please take over. And then so that I can show how now you can take a design from Figma and then send it back to the code, which completes the collaboration cycle between dev and designer.
All right. Thank you so much, Loïc, for that.
But
So,
Julia, I don't think if I answered your question regarding the Lucid icon.
Yeah, maybe a reaction from you, Julia, if that answered your question. So, all right, let me share my screen then, Loïc.
Okay, so I guess I should stop sharing, yeah. Oh, we have a developer in the house.
Cool. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah?
I can
Hello?
see it. I can see it. Yes, I can see your screen.
Right. So I'm wondering why. So if you probably vibe coded this again, you might end
Yeah.
up with a whole different sort of like alignment structure.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
All right, so now I'm going to try to make a change on the sidebar and then you'll put it back in code. Yeah?
sure, yeah.
All right, so I'm on the main component now. So as you can see, where is this spacing coming from? Yeah, as you can see, the height is 100. So let me just
Before you
reduce
do
it a
that,
bit.
I think and I think I could probably just undo the change.
No, you want to do this part from your end?
Yes, I want to fix the alignment because like maybe okay, so it says like the nav links have too much vertical spacing between them and the icons aren't
Okay.
vertically centered. So just
All
wait.
right. I just yeah, I reverted.
Okay, and let's see. Can you go back to the design file? I want to see.
You see? So you
Mm,
changed this too.
okay, hold up.
I don't know why I left this one. Is it maybe because I played around with it?
Yeah. But anyways, just proceed. Just update it.
Alright, so they all have the figure 8. So we're going to alright, 1 second. Let me just change the so 8.
I think the easiest thing would be maybe let's start by changing the background color. Change the background color
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then change the background color and then change the font family as well of the
No,
design
one
system.
thing. Yeah, 1 second, 1 second. So one thing I just noticed. Do you see that here? See that this
Yeah.
spacing is. Alright, that changed. You see the way we have the radius as a variable, but then
Yeah.
not the spacing. So I wanted to fix that first. So if we say this is 8, you can do 8 as a variable. Let's do 8 here as well. So what to try that?
But
8.
that might be already correct in the code base,
Yeah, so then
I
shouldn't it be
think.
reflected here in Figma? Or
No, I
anyway,
mean,
I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to do it to
yeah.
see if that's going to
I
be
think
properly reflected. All right, let
let's
me
do let's
change the logo as well.
no, let's do like visible stuff. Just go in the design, like the variables, and then change the tokens. Like try to change the colors. That's
Yeah,
an
let me
easy
just do
thing.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then go ahead and change the font and everything. And then I
No, but the
like
thing is,
yeah.
designers will probably make changes you didn't think of. That's what I want to do. I
Yeah, I
want to
mean
do
you can.
something that's so like here, one challenging uh change, especially when it comes to colors. So you see here, if I come and then unlink this color and then do something
No,
completely different, right?
no. Just undo, and open the variables explorer if that's what it's called.
No, no, no. I want to use a color we don't have. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Okay, so then I want you. So if you brought this back to code, this
Yeah.
I'm thinking this will be assigned um, an actual value and then
Yes,
with the
exactly. Yes.
combination of the variables. Yeah.
Yes.
You see,
I'm
like
gonna go.
here, yeah. So is it this blue?
It doesn't matter. It will just notice. All I have to do is
Okay.
just give it this node changed, and then please update the color in the code base. You don't have to add a color. You can add it to like any random color.
1 second. Where is this blue? Because it's
Uh,
we have it here. We have it here. That's for the status. Anyway,
is
cool. Let me use a random one thing.
yes.
Um,
What else do you
let
want to
me
change?
see. Okay, that. Let me just for the sake of visibility. Me, I want to destroy the variables and see what that would look like. So let's use that color.
Yeah.
And let's use some random color here.
or just simply remove the icons, you know? Let's just say, okay, I think the icons are dumb. I'm just going to remove them. We just want to see if the agent will actually notice these changes and implement them in the code, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good use case. So if we drop the icons,
Yeah.
so we change the default.
Yeah, we change the colors and then we remove, yeah, okay.
Let me do something a bit crazy so that
Now this is the designer brain of obsessing about changes. Okay.
I say if we do this, for example, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to
Okay.
you.
Okay. Then you need to stop sharing, and then I will share my screen. Let's go. So, okay, I've been handed back the design. So the designer said the sidebar wasn't enough stylish, and so it's just like, okay, go ahead and change the sidebar. So I'm going to copy this as a selection. Ooh. Frame selection, 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 selection. No. Or maybe just add it as dev mode, copy. Okay. So sometimes what I like to do, copy link to selection. I don't know why when you are in the design mode you can't have this. So copy link to selection. So again, I would just go and say, okay, the sidebar design has
I'm making
changed.
I'm making another small change.
Oh, Julie, I don't know. I really don't know how to do that. Let's try again. Okay. So copy paste as, copy link to selection. My bad
Yeah.
again. My Figma design skills are really limited. So okay, so I'm just handing over Claude Code to do, and this is the current state in the, so that maybe, so this is the current state before the design change, and you want to see how Claude Code picks up the changes. So you see, it will invoke this get design context from Figma, and I'm going to allow that, and then so it's just giving me a few things. So it says I can see all the changes. It's going to read the current sidebar CSS. So let's see the code changes. It said the
So
background is purple.
quick question, Loïc.
Yes.
Um, should I ask now or should I wait for what you're
Yeah,
doing?
I think you can ask. I mean, you can ask
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, so if I introduce new styles and new undefined variables, right?
Yeah.
How are those handled by Claude Code? Are they then documented and given random names, or are they ignored, or
This
how does
is
it
this
handle
is
that state management?
this is what I was going to say.
All right, cool.
Quick disclaimer, okay? So LLM agents, they're not mind readers, and they are smart to an extent, right? They are trained on a lot of code bases, like I don't know, millions, or a really big number of code bases. So they understand that how the code is structured, right? So we changed the sidebar background color, right? But it had a token, right? And in the code base, it's called sidebar background, and it knows, okay, the background changed, and we have a token for that background. So it finds it, and then it replaces the token. I don't know if that answers your question. So it reads. So basically, it reads and it makes a decision based on the training it had. Okay, it knows. Okay, I'm changing a background color of a sidebar, and this color is already assigned to a variable. So let me change the variable instead of creating a new variable and then assign it to the sidebar.
Okay,
Right?
so that's how it does it.
Yes, I mean it's just like it. I mean it's a hit or miss. Sometimes it catches those things, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, like
All
again,
right.
LLMs
Oh,
are not really deterministic, but most of the times, if your code is really well structured, it will pick up on those things.
and just
So
change the variable value.
yes, exactly. As you can
All right.
see, all these everything you changed already had a variable, and then it's changing the variables instead of creating new values. Okay. Um, and an interesting thing I will do after I did do these changes, I will ask it to synchronize the tokens, and we'll see what happens. So it's changing these things, and you can see now it's removing the icons. And I think now it's introducing a new value for I don't know, a hover state. Did you do some other changes? I don't know. Oh, you changed the font weight.
Sorry. If you go
You,
back to the one that was implemented, 1 second.
I haven't finished because I noticed that it's asking me to change the sidebar subtitle, but I didn't know it changed. You removed it. So that's why I came to confirm to see if it's
Okay.
doing the right thing. Okay. So then we progress. Okay, it says it's done. Let's see. This is the design changes I received from the designer, and this is the change,
Nice.
right? Um, and like I said, I can also synchronize. Wait, is okay? Synchronize the tokens. I don't know what it's going to do, but let's just see. But I'm expecting it to see.
Um,
Okay, I need to synchronize the tokens that I changed. So it says, okay, I need to update the Figma variables to match the new CSS tokens.
yeah, I see. I had another question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, why is it turning the text to black?
Uh, okay.
In
What
Figma.
in Figma? I don't know. But as you can see, I don't know. I don't know what values it changed. It changed the sidebar background, sidebar text, sidebar hover. I don't know. Okay, but go ahead with your question.
I want to see this black, sidebar active. Is it done syncing the tokens?
Yeah, but it didn't update this to be the token. No, that's a problem because it should have maybe thought about sidebar background instead.
Yeah. Maybe just reprompt that one because I want to see if obviously the background should change to purple, and then I want to see how it got the hover state.
You mean in the code base, in the
Yeah.
implemented version? So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but if you don't want, if you're not convinced, I could probably just apply this. And it's applying this background. Is it the right one?
Well, I mean, because I'm thinking because I didn't give any hover state, so I'm trying to understand where it got it from. I know it obviously improvises, but is it part of
No,
the
but
tokens?
maybe it was, yeah, it was there. It was there in the code. It was there in the code base.
The hover, yeah, I see. So yeah, that's the hover This slate /100. If you go to variables.
I'm actually trying to see if you can. Whatever. What is so you say? Oh man,
Go to variables.
I'm pulling myself. So which slate? Which
There
variant?
is hover. The hover one. Slate /100.
This one. Does it have a hover? Okay, slate 100.
So that's the one it's using.
I guess. I hope.
All right. Cool. So
Yes.
we only left with 1 minute. Yeah, but some people dropped. But yeah, wouldn't you say this covers the whole code to canvas and then canvas to code journey before you move on to questions?
I would say this is probably the simplest demo because I mean you can get really creative. You can this is the simplest of examples. You can think of other use cases. You can even complex designs. But I think this is pretty much what it looks like. So you can start from code or you can start from the canvas, right? As you can see, this could already be a design, and I could start from here, but that's a different story because yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So not to use additional minutes. So yeah, the floor is open to the people on the call. Any questions? Any comment before we end the session? All right, looks like there's none. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you as
Sorry?
well. I think Julia said she has to go. Thanks for being here. Glad you liked it.
All right. Cool. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us on this session. Thank you so much, Loïc, for the demonstration. So yeah, but yeah, this is generally the process: canvas to code, code to canvas. So as Loïc said, we wanted to have a simple use case to go through in the time that we had, but you can go on and explore different avenues with that whole process. So this helps. I mean, this is going to change how designers work. So designers could always start from vibe coding and eventually have design files. This is already changing how developers work. They can start from code and then play around with design, etc. So especially that now we have the agent capability in Figma to go ahead and create components. So obviously these things get better and better with time. So yeah, that was the outline for today's session, and see you on the next one. Thank you so much, Loïc. Thank you, everybody who attended.
Frank, thank you, everyone.
Oh.
Yeah, have a good night. Ciao.
All right. Bye. See ya.
Bye.